you for coming today. This is a really important election for the future of our community. And it matters a lot to me personally because I grew up here in District 1. I grew up in the Mohican Hills neighborhood and have lived most of my life in District 1. My wife and I, some of you have met my wife who's in the back, live in downtown stuff. I often joke that running for office is a bit like the longest, most public job interview that you'll ever do, and your boss knows that you're hunting for another job. And I think that all of you are asking two questions in this interview. Does the candidate have the right experience, not measured in number of years on a page, but a record of accomplishment out there in the world? And does this candidate have the right vision to help us through this moment? And we face many challenges in Montgomery County right now. And I believe that I have the right experience and the right vision to help us through this moment. So coming out of college at Yale, I worked at the County Council for former District 1 Councilmember Roger Berliner. I learned how to do things big and small at the council. Get a tree trimmed, get a road resurfaced, maybe get a snow plow to come down the street. I also learned how to do big things. We created the first county-level green bank to invest in our clean energy economy. We worked on traffic safety issues like Brayburn Parkway and River Road that affected so many in this community. After doing that, I spent 7 years as a project manager on major infrastructure projects. And my role there was as strategist and consensus builder. In the words of one of my clients, we bring Drew to all the bad meetings. It was my job to bring everyone who was upset around the table to figure out how we could make progress together. And that approach is what I'll bring to the council. And while I was working there, I realized I wanted to do my experience. I went back to grad school at MIT, focused on economic development, focused on energy, focused on business development, and got an MBA and a city planning master's. I've spent the last 3 years working at the Maryland Department of Transportation in the Secretary's office, where the key theme is how to make progress amidst crisis. We've had a budget crisis at the state level, and despite that, we have made real progress on the environment, on economic and workforce development, on accountability and transparency is what we do. And on March 26, 2024, when the Key Bridge collapsed into the Patapsco River, Secretary Wheel told me to move to Baltimore to spend the next 3 months helping to organize that effort. And I talk about crisis because our community is facing real crisis. The federal cuts could result in 40,000 jobs being lost in Montgomery County, and every day we see the ways that the Trump administration is coming after communities like ours. So my focus starts with making sure that we create good-paying private sector jobs here in Montgomery County to rebuild our tax base. By making sure that we partner with business effectively, we highlight our wonderful talent to the world so that we fill every vacancy and help people get back on their feet, and make sure that the permitting process we have goes from being one of the most challenging in the state of Maryland to a place where people feel like they're starting on the right foot. And I want to make sure that we address affordability set of challenges, not only on housing, but also on childcare and energy costs that make it so that not everyone can thrive in Montgomery County right now. And I'm focused on this investment, focused on this affordability so that we can afford to invest in the things we need, fundamentally in our schools and making sure those dollars go to the classroom, go where they're nearest most in the earliest years, but also to make sure that at the council we provide accountability and oversight to the school system so that those dollars are going to the right place, so that we build trust and accountability when big decisions need to be made about boundaries or programs. And then we make sure we put an end to major overruns in big capital projects, whether that's school buildings or school buses. And if someone's focused on infrastructure, that's what I'll do. And I want to close there. We need to invest in the community-supporting infrastructure that Montgomery County residents need for their quality of life, whether that's transportation, parks, recreation. I believe that I bring that background as someone who's made infrastructure happen at the state and local level to help us invest in our community tomorrow. Because in this moment, we need to fight back against Trump in every way that we can at the local level, and I'll be on the front lines of that. But we also have to focus on protecting our community. The way we do that is by growing and sustaining our economy, making sure this is a place that people can afford to live, and making sure that our schools and infrastructure system deliver for you. So that's what I'll be focused on. Thank you very much.